Hello, everyone. Welcome to Greg Long's podcast. As you can probably guess, I'm Greg Long. Today, I'm sitting here with Nik Nocturnal. Say hello, Nick.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So, yeah, how did you even get into the guitar in the first place? Obviously, your YouTube channel is very, very, very guitar focused. What got you into that? Like, how did you decide? Like, I'm going to learn an instrument. Like, did your father play? Like, how did you get into it?
So I used to actually chill with my cousins essentially like for my whole childhood, and he was like my brother, and we'd just be losers in his room actually playing like video games like WoW when I was like 10 years old or 9, all day nonstop. And he'd always like jam music, some like Under Oath or As I Lay Dying or like Marilyn Manson, things like that. And that's how I got initially attached to kind of that heavier-ish side of music, at least with guitar. And then he got Guitar Hero. And then it was done. Yeah, so I saw him play Guitar Hero, and I was like, "Oh, dude!" So I started playing that with him, and then after like 2 years of playing Guitar Hero, nonstop every day, I was like, you know what? Let's try to learn this for real. So I took lessons, and then the rest is kind of history from there. Just playing. So yeah.
We're gonna get off topic a lot here because that's just the way things are. But have you ever played? What's that other game? It's like Guitar Hero, but it's like with real chords.
Rock Band? Is that the one?
No, there's like a game where it's like legitimately real chords, and you have to like play what you're playing. I always thought that was an amazing game just because I knew people were just gonna millions of people were just gonna become guitar players after it.
Rocksmith, I think.
Yes, that was it. That was it.
I've seen it a lot, but I've never played it because I got past like the Guitar Hero at that point. I was just playing guitar seriously the whole time. I think I was like I think I might have been like 15 or 16 when that came out. So yeah,
so
it was a little while.
What do your cousins and everyone think of you now that you're just like master shredder?
It's funny because like when I do like family reunions and stuff like that, it's still chill. It's like me and my cousin just nerd out about whatever's like the new video game out, and sometimes we still play together like CS:GO and things like that.
You're on. You're like, yeah, I watch you. Really definitely.
yeah. I don't think my family really watches me that much. Like I'm sure because I spam my shit on Instagram and all that, and they do follow me on there that they see it. But I doubt they want to go and watch me meme up a bunch of random metal bands that they don't have any idea what they're about. So, yeah.
You never know. You could have that obscure family member that just is a super fan. They don't even want to tell you.
That's true. My parents actually, it took them a while to get on board with the whole thing. But then when they were like, "Oh, you're not homeless and you can do this," okay, we're okay with that.
You come home to visit, like a surprise visit, and they're just memeing it up with you on a Monday.
Yeah, they're actually big supporters of that stuff. They love the music part, just like when I actually write the instrumental stuff. Not a fan of the screaming in metal, which I don't blame them. They're older, so. But,
that's cool. So yeah, you got into it just from playing Guitar Hero with your cousins. That's wild.
Yeah,
that's not. I feel like that's probably not too uncommon thing for people in our age group.
Yeah, honestly, I think Guitar Hero was a huge thing that just made so many people want to be guitarists because it was such an empowering feel. You're just like, oh, I'm badass. I'm like Slash, like it just felt so cool, even though you really sucked at that point. But it was fun to dream.
I wasn't even good at it, so I never learned. That's my excuse.
Oh, I got you, man. Yeah, it was tough. I remember it even now. If I go play Guitar Hero, sometimes it's like harder than guitar in its own weird way. It's really weird.
So, how long ago did you start upload? I mean, I already know the answer to this, but this is pro podcasting talents. How long ago did you start doing this? Like uploading and everything?
So like the YouTube stuff?
Yeah.
YouTube, I always, loved YouTube because I'd go on YouTube and I'd see the guys who were the guitarists, like Killer Buckeye, like that guy's old, an old dude. He started like 10 plus years ago. Another guy who also played with him, Feared something, and also Shades of Black. And I'd see those guys playing on YouTube and I'd be like, yo, that's so sick. Like they're just, some of them are just doing covers and people are watching it. And then they also have original. Oh yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, to get this straight, you weren't in like a band or anything before you started uploading. You were just kind of hanging out in your room and you had a webcam and you figured, why not? You were inspired by these dudes you saw on YouTube. You're like, I could do this too.
Exactly. I was like, that's so sick. Like, let's try it. Right. Like I have nothing to lose. I was playing for like 6 or 7 years at that point. So I was like, like I could probably, like, I cover a song for fun. why not show people it, right?
So before you started uploading, you've already played guitar for 6 to 7 years?
Yeah. And I was also like kind of writing at that point, like really terribly, but at least I started writing.
That's wild. So you weren't you said 6 or 7 years. You weren't in any bands or anything before that?
No, I'm sure like the ghetto high school bands where you kind of chill with your friends for like a month, but you'd play like 1 or 2 shows and then that's kind of it. So not like an actual band where you go on tour or anything. I've never been, but I've played live shows and it's hella fun. I do know how to play guitar standing up, unlike most people think, sitting. No, I have never been in like a real band.
Other than just a couple garage bands and then just hanging out with your friends on the weekend. You never like went in and recorded. You haven't seen like Pro Tools or anything like that at this point.
Well, I record myself. I haven't went into like a, let's say, professional studio.
So you've been recording yourself for over 10 years.
I started when I was 15, so like 7 to 8 years. Yeah, that's when I started recording myself.
We're going to say dang because of all of our sponsors.
All the sponsors, man.
Yeah, so that's wild. So I thought that you started like right around the same time you started doing YouTube videos. I had no idea that you'd been almost doing this for a decade, even 5 years prior to uploading. That's wild. Yeah, so like did you like start a goal for yourself? Like, how serious were you taking this right away?
Well, I think I was in my late high school years when I started on YouTube because I was like 16, 17. Right. It's something I've always wanted to do, but when you're younger, your parents are like, yeah, that's good. Play your guitar, but can get your degree.
Probably, go to college, you idiot. That's what.
Yeah. And I don't blame them, even now for saying that because it's like they don't want to have to worry, will you make it or will you not? So I completely respect that. But no, yeah, I just kind of started playing and I had no goal. I was just like, let's see what happens. I started covering songs and it started to gain traction accidentally when I covered a song really fast. It was actually After the Burial's Lost in the Static. And then I was like, oh, okay, I randomly got a big influx of views. Maybe there's something here.
You're figuring out that algorithm a little bit, get in front of those search results.
Yeah, exactly. But I originally just started to, do covers for fun and mainly post my original music to share with like 3 people online because that's all the views I'd get with my like first album.
So did you end up going to school? Because I feel like most of everyone's parents are kind of like very pushy when it comes to going to college and everything. Because I went to college for a little bit. I actually ended up dropping out to go on a tour that I helped book because I went to school. But here's the thing: I went to school for like audio engineering. It wasn't for like a normal college degree. But even then, like going to school and having one of my very first assignments, I was like, do 16 Venn diagrams on microphone frequencies. And I was just like, okay, this isn't for me. So I figured to go down the business side of it. So did you ever end up going to school for audio or anything of that nature?
I've never been to school for music related things ever, but I did go and get my bachelor degree in commerce actually, from York. Wow. So yeah, so I do have actually a degree because I've been doing it for a while on YouTube, and at that point I still was like, this can't be my life. It's fun, but I need to make money. And I didn't understand how to monetize back then. I didn't understand you can actually be a YouTuber and make money. And then I started to realize that halfway through my college degree, and I was like, wow, I hate what I'm doing at school and I love this, but I already sunk money into this. I want to finish it because I want to just say I finished it. It's pretty much it. So I ended up finishing it, luckily, last year, actually.
Right. Yeah, we went off on a tangent for a little bit, but I guess my original thought about this whole thing was when you started, like, you were kind of doing it semi-seriously. You've got over 120,000 subscribers. That's a good amount. That's that's like what, 25,000 a year if you divide it by the years. Like how like when did you see like this start to like really pick up for you?
So my channel kind of grows in random spurts of when I try new things. So to explain, like as soon as I discovered that, cover stuff fast thing, that was the first trend of Nik Nocturnal, covering songs fast. That's when I started to first see my initial actual growth. And then, from there,
sit down with a notepad trying to think of ideas. Cause I saw like, if the song like was like what class would be the song like in high school or whatever, that video. And I was like, where did he, how did he think of this? And also, why does this make sense? Like watching it, like these all fit,
Yeah. So that started when I started doing what I call my Monday videos. You
should think about getting into like publishing stuff, because if you can just bang out jingles in your head and ideas like that, that's like exactly what that whole industry is.
Yeah, I'd love to do. I mean, even like selling my riffs from those videos, because a lot of those videos, I mean, sometimes it's like heaviest riffs. So I take riffs from bands and I kind of do a compilation and I record them and everything. But a lot of them are just original riffs I make for fun things like, school subjects, how they sound, or, how do the seven sins sound, things like that, or emotions of metal. So, and they're just original random things I pick for the video. So I've never really used them for my own music, but yeah, definitely I should start probably selling those, because there's a lot of riffs there.
Right. Oh man. Yeah. So do you live on your own right now? Or are you like fully independent off of YouTube?
I am finally fully independent. When I was in school, I needed to save money, so I live with my mom, and I didn't mind. She's a really cool roommate. She doesn't bother me. I don't bother her. We kind of just live together, and I still pay my 50% rent to help out, and it's all chill. But no, yeah, now it's all just kind of me, and it's crazy to think I can make a living doing this shit. I was gonna
say, like, do you ever just like randomly think, like, I'm sure it's like normal for you, it's your life, but do you ever just like randomly think like, damn, like, I'm doing this off of YouTube, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have those spur moments where I take a moment, I'm like, holy shit, I'm Nik Nocturnal, and that means like, I'm this guy, I'm a YouTuber, I can actually survive with what I make off YouTube, I'm doing what I love. I get out of that mindset of, every day, work, where I don't really get to see that as often. I'm always focused on the next thing. But when I finally take a break, once every 3 months or something, I'm like, I'm here. It's a really crazy feeling.
Right. Yeah. I was actually like, not shocked, but when I saw that you had uploads from 5 years ago, I was like, hot damn, because I had only really started, becoming aware of you, I'd say, over the last like 2 years. Mm-hmm. And it's just been through a flush of content. Some of it, your original stuff is awesome as well.
Thank you.
We've talked about that before, and yeah. What do you? So you said like your parents were kind of like also same deal with like a lot of people. Like your parents were kind of skeptical. What do your parents think of your career path now?
They respect it completely, because they understand that I'm not necessarily just a musician, but I have my own business, right? Like I'm a YouTuber, I market myself, I sell merch, I make brand deals. I'm essentially a marketer in that sense. It's just in the world of music, and I also make music.
Right.
So they're when they're able to finally see the numbers, which isn't a lot, but it's still like, you can pay rent. They're like, okay, yeah, like we have faith in that. Do what you're doing. We know you can grow it. So
yeah, I was gonna say, like I said, I was only really become aware of you over the last like 2 years or so. I feel like that's where you've kind of like really broken in. I don't know how long, how many subscribers you had year 1 or year 2. Like it's always, for some people it's rough for multiple reasons.
Oh yeah,
figuring it out no matter what business you're doing. How much do you think that you've like invested into like to make this happen, like with gear, and like have you haven't taken any classes or anything, so just probably just a lot of time, and then just what you've spent on like the technical side of it, right?
Yeah, just a lot of time. That is by far my biggest investment, which I love every minute of it, because it's music. It's my hobby, it's my dream to do this stuff. So I don't mind it. Investment wise, I'm a very simple guy, and I always preach that to, people who watch my channel. Everyone's like, oh, you need super professional everything. It's like, well, I had a $200, camera for 4 years. I had monitors that were like $200.
Yeah. I was going to bring this up to you, and it's definitely not a call out, because I have the same ones. I was going to say, like, you have KRKs. I was like, I'm pretty sure those are like like the go-to basic first monitors you get. You know what I mean?
And these are new. Yeah.
I only say that because that's what I did like 5 years ago. I still have them. But
yeah,
awesome.
I love the KR. I had them. I don't remember what I had before. I think they were Boss or something. Like, just they were good speakers. They did the job. But then, like recently is when I started upgrading my gear. Like last year when I got the KRKs, I got a better camera. But still, like with drum plugin, $50. Bass plugin. I used a free one for a long time. The only thing expensive is my Axe Effects, which I don't care. I'll spend that money any day on that. But everything else is kind of budget friendly because, you got to deal with what you have, really. So,
yeah. My follow-up question was like, what would be like what are the next monitors you have your eyes on? Because I need new monitors.
my next, I don't know. I usually I don't keep updated usually with the markets of all these things because I'm not like constantly like looking for new stuff. It's like when I find something I like, I'm just like, okay, and I usually stick with it for like 5 years. That's why like my endorsers love me because they know I'll never go anywhere if I like what I'm using.
I was gonna say, do you go to like NAMM or anything, or do people hit you up about sponsorships? I was thinking like people must hit you up about to like be in their band like frequently. Does that not happen?
So pretty much yes to all those. So NAMM, I've wanted to go, but the thing is I didn't really have a proper reason to go until like this year when I got sponsored by Ernie Ball, Music Man, which I'm super lucky to be. I didn't go this year because I got sponsored by them. I got sponsored by Music Man later. I was only Ernie Ball artist, for just the strings. I got their guitar sponsorship around February, which was after, and I should have gone anyways, but I don't know. I was kind of busy and I was just like, eh. But I definitely.
I went for the first time this year, and it's like a theme park, but just for gear and instruments, just everywhere.
Yeah, so I definitely need to go. But other stuff. I mean, people always ask me, Nick, join my band because they see I'm a solo guy, and it's like I get that message every day, and you just kind of learn to tune it out sometimes. I still respond, and I'm like, guys, I'm busy, sorry. But it's crazy.
How much of is your life consumed by this? Like for like kids listening at home, what does it take to see the success you've had? Even though like I said, you're just beginning and you're like put your foot in the door in a heavy way. Like what does it take to get there?
To build up to it, it took pretty much all of my free time, maybe at least 3 hours a day max when I was in school when I was younger. To maintain it, like nowadays when I'm doing this full time, I sometimes go 10, 15 hours a day, which seems kind of crazy because you maybe only see like one video on my YouTube channel a week.
Right.
But that's because
you're investing in yourself, so that's always good at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's all the stuff in the background, working on sponsored videos, working on the next Monday video, which takes me usually 20 hours, covers when new bands drop stuff. And then also...
What keeps you going? How often do you do videos? Every day?
I don't do every day. I think I just couldn't. It's impossible. You start to just feel forced when you get into that schedule of like, I'm out of ideas. Let's just throw something out tomorrow. I hate that feeling.
Right. Yeah. I didn't mean necessarily that. I mean, like some people that might just like try and do something every day and then just like use one thing that they do that week,
Oh, I see.
Or like of that nature. Like how often are you recording? Like
recording, regardless if it's like for YouTube or for a brand or for like my own music, which it's funny. I consider working on my band projects my hobby, even though it's part of my job as well, technically.
Yeah, your brand.
Yeah, so I record probably every day. I try my best to take Saturdays off, in which case that's the day that I actually teach from 11 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. nonstop.
That's gnarly. Another question I was going to ask you is like, what other than music, like what other thoughts can you possibly have during the week? Like what could you possibly be passionate about?
Well, I'm lucky because are
you teaching music?
Yeah, I teach guitar online, like part-time, I guess you could say. I used to do it a lot more, but just on Saturdays, I have a lot of people because of YouTube hit me up and they're like, "Hey Nick, can we take a lesson?" So I do teach on Saturdays.
I was hoping to find out you were like a professional Frisbee player on the weekends or something just so wild.
No, I mean, what you see is kind of what you get. Music is definitely my life. I like, the only breaks I really get during those days are like, I'll try to go to the gym for an hour. During the night when I'm done work, I'll relax and try to maybe play some video games before I go to sleep, something like that.
What are you playing?
Just a lot of the modern Twitch stuff, I guess, because I haven't really found it.
What does that even mean?
Like the Twitch games, so like there's CS.
So Fortnite?
Not Fortnite, though, except Fortnite.
Awesome.
But like CS.
Okay, keep going.
CS League, sometimes WoW. It's weird because WoW's addictive. So you got to be careful.
Are you going to play Classic?
Dude, fuck yeah, I'm going to play Classic, man.
Oh my God.
Dude,
so
I have to.
I can't. That's such a touchy subject for me because that game basically made me fail high school. Dude, it was bad. It's so funny. Like I was putting so much into World of Warcraft. One day I like looked at my / played and I was like, I had a thought. I was like, dude, one day a doctor is going to be like, yo, you have 6 months left to live. And I'm going to be like, I have over that in World of Warcraft played. I should probably put this down, Yeah, so like that's like when I took that energy and put it into start going after music, which is so funny. Yeah, Classic. I played Classic, so like, and that was the only time that game was really ever fun for me. Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine there's going to be thousands of people on every server, like on every area, and like just right when PvP starts on them, it's going to be incredible.
It's gonna be a fun experience. I started playing around BC, so right at the start of that. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So you didn't really. Did they like back then? Did they just like auto level you to 60 so you can like go?
Oh no. Yeah, I remember coming home from school and fucking just going on my computer instantly 6 hours nonstop leveling, playing. Funnest thing of my life. I can't wait to get home from school when I was like 9 or 10 or like 11.
So in vanilla, I don't know if it was as hardcore for you, but places like Terra Mill and like Stranglethorn Valley were a complete shit show. In the best way, though,
Right. No, yeah, I've heard the stories. That's something I do too. Sometimes watch YouTube videos on the spare time, and
Have you ever thought of? Well, obviously, music is consuming everything. It'd be hard for you to just because I've seen people make like separate channels for gaming stuff, but
yeah, I've thought of the different channel stuff, and I know how much work my channel took, and I just said no, can't do it.
Well, what you need to do is just do a couple of video game-esque videos and then have a special one video, You said yourself every time you try new things.
That's true. I love because I love a lot of different things. Like I love the video game community. I like the movie kind of music community. I like a bunch of different things. And regardless, I know I can relate them to music in some way. So like, for example, I'd love to write. Yeah, I'd love to write like a video game OST for someone one day. That would be super sick because I know how to write that type of music.
What are your feelings on that Doom soundtrack that came out?
Dude, it's so filthy. I love that stuff. That's why I'm excited for Doom is the soundtrack.
Have you seen the video of that guy like performing it live at like one of the video game conferences?
Yeah, Mick Gordon and the Matt from Periphery was on drums, I think, right?
It was insane.
It's really cool, man. It's cool that those worlds I think are starting to blend more and more because that a lot of people listen to metal, they're gamers, and vice versa.
Just find some massive gamer and be like, yo, like I'll write you an Ensandra, dude.
Yeah,
I'll give me a video of you playing and we'll make it big. I feel like you should definitely collab with some crazy person on that because I feel like you could definitely deliver on one of those tracks.
I'd love to expand into that market. I know a few actually Twitch streamers that are decent big, like Hansel and this other guy who's a WoW streamer that I know because they'd share my original music and use it for their like montage videos. And I'd be like, oh, okay, that's sick. Because I'd actually watched their videos. And so now I have like good relationships with them. So when I release new stuff, they'll probably play it on their stream, because they need music for their content anyways. But it's a really cool just realm of the Twitch gaming community.
So we already went about how like you have no life other than this.
Yep.
What keeps you like inspired to like keep doing this?
Oh, it's a couple things, I guess, because
obviously you have your fan base and you've been doing this for a long time, but I imagine you still have to get excited by other other people and other things must have to still inspire you, you know?
Yeah, like if I just did this for the money, which wouldn't be for a lot of money anyways, I wouldn't be doing it. It's definitely like I love doing it. Like this is what I would do even if, you know, I wasn't a YouTuber. I used to cover songs because I just did it to learn, right? Become a better guitarist. I used to write my own music just so I could play it for myself while I'm playing video games. So no one else would hear it. I have like 80 demos that no one has heard because it's just old music that I've written for myself.
What are you going to follow up your original stuff, like Undying Shadow? Like with
that, I want to put a lot of work into. So first, I'm essentially finishing my little acoustic EP that will be out this Friday, which is I think July.
Little acoustic EP. I watched that and it seems like the devil went down to Georgia situation. Like, I don't know what was happening on the acoustic guitar, but I was like,
yeah, it's definitely something different. Like I like, you know, playing acoustic. I like playing electric. Metal will always be my channel. So anyone listening, don't worry. I'm always going to be a metal dude.
No,
but I like playing acoustic stuff.
Awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
In front of the waterfall and stuff, dude.
Dude, it took a while to trek. We had to trek to find that waterfall, but we found it in Canada. But yeah, so acoustic EP, that's my first priority. After that, I have a band project that's coming soon. First track's going to be July 5th that I've been putting a lot of my effort into. It's, you know, it's Nik Nocturnal, little toned down in terms of it's not fancy lead work. That's being replaced by a vocalist, essentially, to handle the melodies. And it's heavy as shit.
I have a feeling like I know who the vocalist is.
Who knows? But yeah, so those two are my priorities, and then it's going to be the next Nik Nocturnal album that I'm hoping to get big guest features on there. Maybe Rio of Crystal Lake, Sean Make Them Suffer, some dudes Betraying the Martyrs. I want to have some really cool guests that are, you know, my buddies essentially from those big bands on there for fun.
Right. Yeah. Who are your favorite vocalists right now?
Rio of Crystal Lake. This dude has something that's I fucking love that guy. He's a monster. He's just super unique in terms of he's mainly a screamer, but he can do everything while he's screaming. His range is insane with his types of screams and all that. Other than him, Sean of Make Them Suffer is a fucking monster. And sorry, I don't know if you could swear on here, but I just did.
I think we can.
Okay, sorry, sponsors.
Let me ask. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's good. We're good here.
It's good. All right, awesome. So Sean and Make Them Suffer, and when it comes to kind of the mix of both of them, you know, clean singing and screaming, my buddy Andy Sizik, I can never say his fucking last name right. He's a monster too. I love Andy. I think he's the best of both. He's the most balanced of both worlds because he's an amazing singer and screamer. So yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So what keeps me going is just when I have those moments where, you know, even a fan will message me and be like, dude, like I listened to your new track and honestly, it's inspired me to pick up my guitar. I feel like I can't take that away from people who I guess I inspire. I would feel like such a dick for being like, one day I'm done. Sorry guys. Cause I really do want to inspire, you know, those younger guitarists to just do it. All right. Go out, fucking do something with guitar. It doesn't have to be a band. Go work and just hustle and grind if you really love it. So,
well, it's an outlet, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me as your first guest. I feel honored, man.
Oh, absolutely. I was like, this will be fun. You know, I'm not part of the YouTube world whatsoever. I was definitely interested to hear about just like your whole day to day and just how it all works and how long it took you. It's just a cool and inspiring story. I'm sure there's tons of people who could listen to, and just like you said, you know, how you inspired them to pick up a guitar. It could be cool for them to, you know, even start a channel or do something like that in the future. You know what I mean?
I hope so, man, because it's tough when you have something that you want to do. You might not even be the most talented, but you just love something so much that you want to share with other people. And so many people are scared to go, you know, use something as an outlet for it. So I hope I can inspire maybe people to use YouTube as an outlet, just use social media as an outlet, Instagram, whatever it might be, just to kind of share. So you can go back and watch those videos and get a little smile and be like, fuck it, I did that shit, you know? So, yeah.
Dude, I wanted to ask you this question. It's kind of a loaded question.
All right, it's not
really that loaded. Do you think it's easier to become a career like music artist or a career YouTuber? And so, second follow up, is it the same thing nowadays?
So band versus YouTuber, essentially?
Yeah, like what do you think is easier for you to like accomplish your goals or just like get momentum or
I think nothing. So I like to think of it in two categories: working smart. Oh God, or working hard. Work smarting, exactly. Heard it here first. Make it a t-shirt, guys.
That's going to be the name of the episode.
Work smart. Band is a lot of just working hard, grinding till you can't breathe, till you're sick on the road and want to just go home. It's awful in that sense. It's really rewarding if you can make it, but it's such a hard work grind. Whereas I think YouTube is much more thinking grind. It's a lot, be creative grind. It's hard in that sense where you're not every day just like, okay, I have to, next tour, let's drive there. We all smell like shit. Everyone's cranky. We hate each other. And we go play our 1 hour show and then we unpack, go home. So it's kind of a trade-off in that sense. So I think it's necessarily harder, definitely, to be in a band and try to get somewhere. I think it's creatively harder to be a YouTuber and get somewhere. But yeah, it's tough. Like anyone who's in the grinding band life right now, I have mad respect for you because I can't do that. I can't go on tour for 2 months. It's just not me. I miss my family too much,
How long does it take you to just like complete a video, edit it, and have it all?
Depends on the video.
Idea to completion.
So if it's like a cover, it takes like 2 hours. But if it's like an idea, like an original video, it can take anywhere from like 10 to 20 hours fully.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's still
a lot of work.
That's still a decent amount of time.
Yeah. And that's after over the years, I've kind of created a schedule in terms of when I do things. Like first one is write everything on Notepad, brainstorm the ideas, get it all organized, make it so it's easy to record everything, to make everything as efficient as possible. But it still takes 10 to 20 hours probably per Monday video, for example.
Hell yeah. Another thing I wanted to ask you, like how essential is like Patreon for your brand? Because here's the thing, I watched your videos and I saw you say everyone's name without just, and I was like, what is happening? And also you're a crazy person to remember all of that. And your like eyes are like twitching in the back of your head, like accessing the information.
Yeah. So Patreon is I know it's funny when you watch this because I'm thinking really hard when I'm doing it. So it looks like I'm kind of having a mini stroke, but I'm just very intensely making sure I remember everyone's name, which is super hard. I kind of, well, to start off, yeah, Patreon is super essential for one of my revenue streams. If I just focused on AdSense from YouTube, I wouldn't make any money. Right. AdSense is probably like 25%.
Do you get smacked a lot on your covers for?
I don't. Yeah. So the first 4 years of YouTube, when I only did covers, I made no money. Actually zero.
That's rough.
Can't monetize any of the covers because I don't own the rights. You can get around that by recreating the whole song, recreating all the instrumentals, and then you got to be lucky that the band or whoever owns the rights to the music doesn't see your video and then still copy strike you. Doing covers is just not a way. You won't make money. You just build your brand, which is essentially what I did for those 4 years. Straight up build brand and have fun on YouTube. But yeah, you don't make money. But that's, for AdSense, it's still only like 25% of what I make in total. All my other monetization, is Patreon is essential. Huge support. Amazon affiliate is something I started doing, getting commissions for when people click in my description to buy like a piece of gear I use. Merch, brand deals, lessons, things like that. That's really how I'm able to make any money at all, is by doing all of those things.
So even doesn't Spotify like take care of the licenses for covers? Do you not make anything off of there?
So if it's like a remix cover, yeah, and if you remake everything, right, then you can put it on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like Andy and Andrew Baina do that a lot. Like they remake the whole thing and then they can put it on Spotify, and that's great. It's just, it makes it so that 2 hours of work will then turn into probably 15.
I've seen those bands like Our Last Night and like not so much them, but especially like that band Fame on Fire. Like, have you seen that band?
Yeah, they're killing it with like the Pop Goes Metal covers.
Yeah, they've got like 500,000 people plus listening to them.
Yeah, they're because it's just such a good niche, and it's still, I wouldn't say it's overpopulated yet. If people can do it well, Fame on Fire came out of nowhere. Because Our Last Night was the only one really dominating that scene, and then Fame on Fire was just like, okay, let's try it.
It sounds so funny, but I'm legitimately trying to put together like the world's best cover band. I feel like that's the beginning of like an MTV movie or something.
I mean, that's
man. But I mean, essentially, a dope vocalist and a dope producer could just
that's all you need.
Just go to town on that whole genre, you know? Because those they don't tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I think the big issue with a lot of metal bands is they suck at. They're really good. They're really technically proficient, but they're not the best at songwriting in terms of making it so their music connects emotionally with any consumer, not just people who are metal listeners or technically efficient. They just know how to play their instrument well. But the best part about covering a pop song is the song's already written. You just have to recreate it, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's so easy to just make something catchy by putting breakdowns on it, right?
Right. That's a formula right there.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, me and Andy, as you know, we've dipped into that scene because it's fun, to be honest, to recreate those songs. We don't like doing it as basic as a lot of the other bands in terms of it just being like, here's eighth note choruses, just dun 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 dun, you know, copy pasting exactly everything and then a random breakdown near the end. We like to kind of make our modern, genty, weird, fun versions of them, but it's a fun thing, and you get a lot of views for those, no doubt.
Yeah, so there's a lot of success you can get for just doing covers. Like, it's a lot of people downplay it, but I mean, there's plenty of bands out there that are massive from them. You know,
I Prevail, yeah, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I had like a light bulb thought to that whole situation because like I didn't, I knew that the cover blew them up, but I didn't know like why the cover got so big, and like I figured it out. Taylor Swift didn't have the like distribution like on Spotify. Like she was like she was against Spotify at that time. So when that song came out, and like all the people who weren't savvy to Taylor Swift's distribution preferences, which is like, I don't know, everyone, they found that like immediately when they searched it. So I was like, damn, that's like crazy move.
That's genius if they thought that far. Wow.
See, I don't think that's common knowledge.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that far either, to be honest. It makes sense, totally. That's a very unique thing. And they also did it well, right? They did it simple.
They're a band, too.
Oh, yeah.
Their new releases are incredible.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan when people are like, oh, you're just a cover band. It's like, guys, well, yeah, they're a cover band selling out because they built their brand off doing a cover, which was a good cover. And now people are listening to their original music, which otherwise they would have just released the original music and no one would have listened to it. Would have been the same original music, though. It's
all about timing.
Yeah, definitely.
And as weird as that sounds, that's why I immediately had the thought. I was like, whenever these artists do these exclusive releases on like Tidal, these rappers, I was like, you need to like just do a cover of one of their songs on everything else because you can get it up on Spotify and you'll have the license for it. They'll like put it through for you.
That's really smart. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that. That's an interesting marketing kind of strategy like that, to just take all the market share essentially of one platform because the other artist just chooses not to put it on there yet.
Yeah, dude, I was like, when you need to drop a gent Beyonce cover when she drops a Tidal exclusive, bro.
Maybe. I mean, me and Andy are still down to do those fun things. Andy's a little more particular because he doesn't, want to necessarily be known as like the dude who got big off some random cover. And I don't blame him. He has a lot of musical integrity, which I have a lot of respect for. Myself, I have that just to a lesser degree. I'm just like, if it sounds good, like let's fucking, let's just do it, right? Who cares? People will like it. Maybe they won't.
I mean, you're just a muse, bro.
Yeah,
you're a muse. That's what it is. You're just a natural born muse.
Oh God, maybe. Man.
You just need to entertain.
Yeah, I like entertaining. I like making
juggle.
Nah, man, I don't.
Damn.
Too much thinking.
I thought I was going down. If you said yes, I was like, holy shit.
Another round. No, I don't know how to do anything special, sadly, like that. But those covers are super fun, and me and Andy will definitely do a few more. But we just gotta wait for the right song, right time, because he's on tour a lot. I have the freedom of I'm at home, I can plan ahead, but he's on fucking tour. He can't do anything when he's on tour. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I just want to say thank you for doing this with me.
Dude, I just felt like fun talking. Hell yeah. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. But yeah, thank you for having me, man. And shout out July 5th. Y'all better be watching my channel because you're going to fucking explode with what you see get released from my band. So
Spontaneous combustion coming soon.
yeah.